I worked in a corporate office for almost 5 years. Day after day, I gave my best, arriving early, staying late, finishing projects nobody else wanted to touch. My boss, Richard, always promised me, "Don't worry, your hard work will pay off. The next promotion is yours." For years, I believed him. I skipped family dinners, missed vacations, and sacrificed my health, thinking that one day I'd finally get the recognition I deserved. But when the promotion finally came, it didn't go to me. It went to Richard's close friend, a man who spent half his time scrolling on his phone and the other half taking long lunches. Everyone in the office knew he didn't deserve it. Yet, Richard stood there, smiling, praising his talent, even handing him the title that was supposed to be mine. That day, something inside me broke. I felt humiliated, invisible, betrayed. I had given everything for this company, but Richard had never intended to reward me. To him, I was nothing more than a tool, someone to use, then discard. For a few days, I considered quitting, packing up my desk, walking away, and never looking back. But deep down, I knew quitting would only make Richard win. He'd continue climbing the ladder, using people like me as stepping stones. So I made a choice. I wouldn't quit. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't beg. Instead, I would stay quiet, and build my revenge. From that day on, I began observing Richard more carefully. He wasn't as smart as he wanted people to believe. He cut corners, lied in reports, and manipulated numbers to make himself look good. I had ignored it before, thinking it wasn't my problem. But now it was my weapon. I started documenting everything. Every false report he submitted, every shady deal he made with clients, every fake overtime sheet he signed. I collected emails, spreadsheets, and even voice recordings of meetings where he twisted facts. I built a private file on my home computer, a secret folder that was slowly becoming Richard's worst nightmare. But I didn't stop there. I began networking with people above him, managers, directors, even board members. Casually, I let them see my dedication, my hard work, my results. I stayed late not just to finish projects, but to make sure the right people noticed my name attached to them. I played the long game, wearing a mask of loyalty while sharpening my blade in silence. Then came the annual board meeting, the day when Richard always shined the brightest. He prepared slides full of fake numbers, painting himself as the genius behind the company's growth. He strutted into the room like a king about to claim his crown. I sat in the back, quiet, calm, holding the folder that carried months of evidence. Richard began his presentation, confidently explaining his strategies, his ideas, his leadership. The board applauded, nodding in approval. For a moment, it felt like history was repeating itself. Him in the spotlight, me in the shadows. But not this time. When the board opened the floor for questions, I stood up. My voice was steady, almost casual, but it carried across the room. With all due respect, I believe there are some inconsistencies in Richard's report. May I share my findings? The room fell silent. Richard's smile faded. The board gave me a nod. I walked to the front, plugged in my laptop, and opened the folder. Side by side, I showed Richard's inflated numbers next to the real ones. I revealed the missing funds, the fabricated client reports, the overtime he never worked but claimed. I even showed them the falsified signatures, his name written where it didn't belong. The more I spoke, the redder Richard's face became. He tried to interrupt, but the board silenced him. The evidence was undeniable. Every lie he had told unraveled in front of the very people he wanted to impress. And then came the final blow. I revealed a document, signed by Richard, that approved an illegal expense he had hidden for months. That was the moment the board exploded with anger. Within hours, Richard was escorted out of the building by security. The man who once promised me promotions, who laughed behind my back, who used me as his pawn, was gone. His reputation shattered, his career destroyed, his name turned into a cautionary tale whispered across the industry. And me? I wasn't just recognized. I was promoted to the very position Richard swore I'd never get. For the first time in years, my name was tied to my own work, my efforts were rewarded, and I finally sat in the office that Richard once believed would always belong to him. Here's the lesson I learned. Revenge doesn't always come with anger or shouting. Sometimes, the most powerful revenge is silence, patience, strategy, waiting for the moment when your enemy least expects it. Richard thought I was replaceable. He thought I would stay invisible forever. But in the end, his empire collapsed in a single day, while I walked away with everything he tried to steal.